with Genius. We'll see. So with shares for Genius, the amount of shares that will be around is a very large number. It's in the quintillions, thousands of quintillions. Who knows how many? It's a super large number. And in Hex, you have T shares. So just a little side note, since I told you what the shares are, not how it ratchets up though. But what we start with will be called Q shares, kind of like IQ. Q shares, quadrillion shares. The best time to get them will be in the beginning. So every day, so shares, to get Genius shares, to get a piece of that revenue, you have to have Genius token. And the amount of Genius token you get versus some bonuses you get, bonus shares that you get based on how much Genius token you're using, how much time in the future you're going to mine for. Based on all that stuff, you end up getting shares. And those shares, they cost that time that you're promising. They also cost the amount of Genius. There's a cost to them. And that cost is your time and your money, your value, your Genius. So, so that cost increases over time. It only increases over time. Similar to Hex, except the cost is guaranteed to increase over time. So every day, there's always an increase. White paper says more about that. So yeah, the price will ratchet up more than Hex, faster than Hex. And, if Hex were to do that, I think it would be a big problem with Hex. As Hex is developed, as Hex, the software for Hex runs. But when it comes to Genius, we had to have different tokenomics, work with that and balance it. And it is beautiful. Like I say, Genius is a financial masterpiece. Decentralized financial masterpiece. Will there be code review with someone competent in reading code, going through the code line by line and explaining what each function does and how it works, like David Fetter has done with some projects and how Totino does with Maxi? I don't know. I know that it's not something I'm interested in. I wish I would have seen this question earlier, because so with our development process, all of the Genius developers are required to do peer review with one another. And then we have, the independent security auditor, which I can't wait to release our independent security auditors PDF documents. That's pretty cool. That's nice. And then CertiK auditing, but myself as well, and another tokenomics developer, a mathematician we worked with. He has a PhD in math. He's probably the only one that I'm allowed to say who he is without, because the other two guys in Hex, they really don't want their name to be known. Makes sense, but they'll probably want their name to be known in the future. But what I'm getting at is, myself, I've also been a code review person, and as well Alex, the other individual with tokenomics. Yeah. So David Feeder, sorry, I think I said Fetter. David Feeder, that's what it says here. Now I'm drawing a blank, I can't remember his name. That would be cool. I would love to talk with David. I would love to talk with you, man. I love hexagons. I love people in the Hex community. They're very smart. They're very intelligent. I mean, like, everybody's intelligent. But people in the Hex community, they're very smart, very intelligent, and love to chat with them. I was so happy when Jimrat Crypto, was telling me to come on his show, even though he was talking, a bunch of shit about me. I really wanted to get on a show, and then I found out that he really didn't want me on his show. As I was talking to him, I found out he really didn't want me on his show. He just wanted to talk about how he was inviting me on the show. Hey, Jimrat Crypto, why don't you come on my show, man? I love you. My show. But so code review, talking with people who do the code, I would love to talk with these people. Does the summarize function results into less fees in end mining? Yes. Yeah. What is the function? Why are we able to summarize these days? Great question. I'm so happy you asked that. Okay, so, all right, so, Richard Hart and other Hex people, they talk about the gas efficiencies of Hex. And you know what? I'll tell you what, I know Hex's code inside and out. Why? Because, if something is doing something similar, like Bitcoin, etc., look into it. Like Bitcoin, I've looked at Bitcoin's code, which is very novel, very great. A lot of great stuff in Bitcoin source code and Hex's code. And I understand Hex really well. But what I gotta say is the whole Pulse chain is coming here because Hex was murdered by by the fact that Ethereum, in order for Ethereum to continue being economical and to move forward, which is best for everyone, the Ethereum team decided that when the smart contract code is reading from disk, it actually needs to be a lot more expensive to do that. And I fully agree with that. Yes, I know that my Hex Quad 5 stakes, my 5 stakes, have all suffered from that. But it really was necessary for Ethereum. It was so necessary. But the thing is, I guess we're getting into Hex terms now because it's a better way to understand the problem. To reduce the number of reading operations that happen, because after all, there's a very special way you have to do things with smart contracts. Everything you do is within a transaction, and I don't know how to conceptualize that for your average person, but smart contracts development is very different and difficult. It's a different way of thinking. But so here, what became apparent is that, hey, when you're ending your 2-year stake with Hex and Ethereum gas fees are high, and you realize, wow, I'm paying $500 to end this. Let me wait for gas fees to go down. All right, gas fees went